Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about a company that has become the absolute backbone of the AI revolution, Hugging Face. You've probably heard it called the GitHub of AI, and we're about to break down exactly why it's such a massive deal.
To really get what makes Hugging Face so special, you've got to start with this one powerful question. What if the most game-changing technology of our time wasn't locked up behind corporate walls, but was actually shared with everyone? That's the big idea we're diving into. You see, to appreciate just how radical that idea is, you have to remember what AI development used to look like. For a long, long time, it was what you'd call a walled garden.
I mean, not too long ago, building anything with cutting-edge AI was a luxury for a tiny, tiny group. It meant you needed millions of dollars in the bank, a whole squad of PhDs, and months, if not years of work. Now, an individual developer, someone in their bedroom, can get their hands on a world-class model and test it in minutes for free. The walls have literally come crashing down.
And if you want to put a number on it, just look at this. $1.6 million. That's what it could cost to train just one big AI model from the ground up. I mean, with a price tag like that, it's pretty obvious why AI used to be a game only the biggest tech giants could even think about playing. But then, something totally unexpected happened. An accidental revolution kicked off, started by a company that, believe it or not, had a completely different plan in mind.
Okay, get this. Back in 2016, Hugging Face wasn't building the future of AI. It was a chatbot app for teenagers. They wanted to build a digital friend. But the founders quickly figured out that the incredible language tech they'd built for the chatbot was the real treasure. So in 2018, they made this huge pivot, open sourcing their core software called Transformers. And the developer world, well, it went absolutely wild for it. The change was so seismic that by 2023, the giants of the industry were actually getting scared. In a now famous leaked memo from inside Google, an engineer basically admitted that while Google and OpenAI were battling it out, this open source movement with Hugging Face at its heart was quietly taking over.
So how in the world does this whole platform actually work? Well, the best way to think about it is like a giant shared Lego kit for building AI. And it's really built on three main kinds of pieces. First, you've got the models. These are basically the engines, the pre-trained AI brains that are all ready to go. You want to generate text, classify an image, process audio? There's a model for that. And there are over 1 million of them on the hub. It's just incredible. Of course, every engine needs fuel, and that's exactly what the datasets are. These are the enormous collections of text, images, and sounds that the models are trained on. And with access to over 190,000 of them, developers have all the fuel they need. And finally, you have spaces. Think of these as showrooms for AI. They are live, interactive demos. There are over 500,000 apps running right now that anyone, and I mean anyone, you don't need to be a coder, can go and play with right in your web browser. It makes AI real and tangible. So what's this actually look like for a developer? Well, the Transformers library makes it ridiculously simple. There's this genius feature called pipelines that hides all the messy, complicated stuff. You can do something like analyze the sentiment of a sentence with just a couple of lines of code. It feels like magic. But make no mistake, this is so much more than just a playground for developers and hobbyists. The scale and the real-world impact that Hugging Face has managed to achieve is, well, it's staggering. Let's just run through some quick numbers. The platform hosts over 1 million different AI models. It's used by more than 50,000 customers, from solo developers all the way up to huge corporations. And all of that has led to a company valuation of $4.5 billion, with big-time investors like Google, Amazon, and NVIDIA backing them. So yeah, this isn't just a community project anymore. It's a pillar of the entire industry. And look who's using it. We're not talking about small apps here. You have companies like Profia in real estate, Capital Fund Management in finance, even heavyweights like Pfizer and Bloomberg. They're all using Hugging Face for serious production-level work. Everything from analyzing financial markets to digging through medical research. So what's next? What do you do after you've totally changed how AI software is built? Well, it turns out you take that mission of democratizing AI and you move it into the physical world. Hugging Face has actually launched a brand new initiative called Le Robot, and the goal is incredibly ambitious. They want to do for robotics what Transformers did for language, make it open, collaborative, and accessible for everybody. And they're not just talking about it, they're building it. They are helping create affordable open source hardware. We're talking a do-it-yourself robotic arm for around $100, and even a full humanoid robot for researchers for about $3,000. This is about putting the power to build physical AI into everyone's hands.
And really, this all brings us right back to where we started. In this new age of artificial intelligence, which model is going to win? A handful of powerful, closed-off labs or a massive, open, global community? Hugging Face has already made its bet.